Hello again. Well, as you've just seen, I've spent the last few days finishing off the partitions and the cupboards. Oh, that's done. It's starting to feel, I mean, total tip, but it's starting to feel a bit more like a living area. So, I think I've done this before, but just, so here is basically there's the stove, and here's where there will be some chairs eventually. Then going through the galley, and quite a lot of worktops for a boat, but I really like cooking, so I wanted to give myself some space to chop things. And then the cupboards, which then sort of form a partition with the. This is the bathroom, believe it or not. Absolutely nothing in there. So the partition for the bathroom, I could have basically done one sheet and did it with the pocket screws, which I've done for all the cupboards. But I decided for this one only, I was going to do a more housey, traditional battens. And two reasons for that. One, this is going to be a shower here, so I wanted to have a bit more strength because, if you topple over and then you'll be whacking onto this wall, and it wants to be crashing into the onto the bed, as it were. And secondly, because the bed is the other side and this is the bathroom, I thought having a gap and two pieces of wood would be slightly better for acoustic performance, if you get my drift. I've actually got a bit of Rockwall type insulation, and I'm in two minds whether to put that in, again for sort of helping the acoustics. The only thing that's stopping me is I know that when that stuff gets damp, although itself isn't absorb moisture, it does act like a sponge and it's very difficult to dry out. So, and given this is the shower, etc., I'm not entirely convinced that's a good idea. However, I don't need to worry about this. This side is fully screwed on, the cabin side. This side still isn't because I'm waiting to actually put the shower in case it needs any adjustment, so I can make that decision later. The weather was so rubbish as well, I totally abandoned my rule, for now, of no sawing in the boat, because there was no way I was going to be struggling out in the... It was very windy or rainy, or both, and I didn't want to be trying to manhandle these sheets outside of the boat. So finally, we have the cabin area, and I'm now sleeping in the cabin, not on a bed, on an airbed, but hey, small progress. And then this is these are the cupboards. The proper fitting out of all the cupboards, both the kitchen and in here, will be coming at a later date. But in the interim, I got some rails, some sort of shelf rails that I'd taken out of the rubbish dump back in the flat in London. When I say rubbish dump, I mean the bin store. And those ones fitted with these IKEA baskets, so I bought those. And while they were total rip-off what they are, it was just easier than trying to make those boxes. And I think the mesh is good for the clothes. Anyway, so it's good to actually have some storage place to put my clothes. And then finally, this was the final sort of area, and this took me a whole day of thinking how to do this. And basically, the reason is I need the batteries will be the next thing, and the battery needs to go down there. But I wanted to have a cupboard at the top. And given this is where the batteries and the electric, components will be, as it were, I wanted it to be easily accessible. So it basically dismantles, and when this temporary insulation isn't there, this will slide out. Will be on rails, and then the same. So all these are rails that just come apart. And then behind there are some little bolts, so actually when it's not coming apart, it's staying where it's put. So that's me done with the carcasses for now. Now you might be thinking again, you're abandoning something halfway through before it's fully finished. However, by the time you watch this, it will be April the 1st. And I did actually think about an April Fool's joke, but anything I thought about, maybe like the boat's about to finish, is so uncredible that it wouldn't be a proper joke. Anyway, April 1st means that the sort of the energy support subsidy that the boatyard can get ends, and so the electricity is going to go up to about, after VAT, to about sort of 85 pence a unit. So I really would like to try and progress getting the solar cells, which I have been sitting in the container for the past year. I'd like to get those up and running as soon as possible and start harvesting as much power from the sun as, although the weather, it's raining as I speak, it is coming up to spring, so hopefully there will be some sunshine in the coming months. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start that. I'm not going to again, there's an awful lot to do it, and And on top of that, I have to say it's not going to be the most interesting subject to watch, because it's not. There's going to be a lot of me just sitting there and thinking, not necessarily just how to do the circuits per se, but just how to get everything to run in and not look a complete rat's nest of wires, etc. So, I have to say, as good as for cooking, it's also great to have a work surface to work on at proper height. Anyway, I'm starting with the battery box, and I cut the pieces of wood for this a year ago. Yeah, I did it back in the flat when I bought the boat, and it was one of the things I thought I could do. And when I had that crazy idea that I'd be needing the batteries in those coming months, which of course, given it's a year later, I was totally incorrect. Anyway, it's just made out of 80mm plywood, and I'm going to glue and screw it together. And so that's the basic box finished. There needs to be a lid, which there will be in time. And then what this Heath Robinson contraption is about is that depending on who you ask, and as anything on the internet, there are 100 different varying opinions. But with lithium batteries, a lot of people recommend that they're under slight compression. And these rods, basically, this here is loose, and when the batteries are in, that will be able to sort of slide in. Well, hopefully not sliding, but there will allow some movement. But then these this sort of brace will allow the some tensions, or not tension, sorry, compression to be to put on the batteries. As it got cold again, I've cranked up the fire, and the first time I'm cooking a proper dinner on the stove. So here are the batteries in the boxes they arrived to from China about a year ago. They've been sitting in my very rather small bedroom in the flat in London for most of the year, so it's actually been great to get them out of there. So I was climbing over them to get to bed when I was visiting back home. And here are half of them. And I was saying batteries last time, and that's not correct, of course. These are cells. I'm making a battery out of this individual cells. So these are all lithium phosphate cells, which are the safest type of lithium battery you can get. Unlike the Tesla type, etc., or the laptop type, these, I mean, they're not perfect, but they don't generally spontaneously combust if they're damaged, which is kind of what you want on a boat. Because as you know, once these things start firing up, as it were, it's very difficult to stop them. Anyway, there's only half of them here because I'm having a. If you don't already, this is going to be a kind of electric hybrid boat. It's powered by a motor. There's solar cells on top. There's a generator, of course, because this is Britain, and solar is not going to be enough to power a boat if you want to go anywhere. But because of that, there's quite a lot of needs to be quite a lot of battery storage. So in total, these are all 280 amp hour batteries. I was going to get larger ones, but I got caught up in the general cost inflation shortly after COVID. Not only did lithium prices go through the roof, but shipping from China also went through the roof. So basically, I couldn't afford them. I had to downgrade. So I was going to get 310, and these are 280 ampere. Not sure what I said before. I might have said different, but these are definitely 280. Anyway. On top of that, though, I'm paralleling these, so there's going to be, in total, there'll be 32 cells, and that will give me 48 volts, which is the voltage for the motor. That will give me roughly about 20 kilowatts of usable storage, as long as the capacities are correct, etc. Which I guess you never know with these things from China, and that's not slur on China per se. But I had to get sort of grade A- batteries rather than grade A+, because the cost of the other ones were just so ridiculous. These I think were about $150 each, and US dollars, and I need 36, and I bought 38 because I just thought in case two go wrong I might as well have two spare, as it were. Anyway, so because of that, so before I use them, and I've still got lots to do within in the wiring, as I haven't done any of that, as I said, but what I do need to do is top balance the batteries, and this is to make sure to get them all to exactly a level top voltage. They're all roughly in the ballpark. They're all about mid charged at the moment, but they need to be brought up to the top and exactly the voltage. Like anything, oh god, on the internet there are forums, and there is almost a religious fervour of different opinions on how to do this. So I've just picked with what sounds reasonable. The other thing, 20 kilowatts. There's an awful lot of sort of energy in here when it's full, and even when it's not full, which is why you don't want to be shorting things out. Which is why I've got we're wearing glasses and I've got gloves. Which is why anything with metal has been got some heat shrink on it to try and if anything's dropped. And that's why they've all got these little hats on at the moment on the terminals, just to stop anything to minimise the chance of anything untoward happening. And on that basis as well, I won't be I'm going to concentrate fully on hooking these up, as it were. So I won't be doing any filming while I'm doing that. So I will leave you now, and I'll come back when this is set up. Well, it took a bit of figuring out, but touch wood, that should be all on the go now. On the go. That sounds too racy. I want it to be all very, very slow and methodical. But yeah, as I said, the reason that the batteries are all a bit funny is because the actual connection sort of bars that I got for them are meant for the two, so that's why I've had to space them out. Anyway, this is the first part of the first half, so I'm bulk charging it to 56 volts. It's not quite. It's another 2 days till the electricity price goes up, but frustratingly, the marina have already taken electricity meter readings because they're doing a system changeover for their accounting software. So it would have been great to get all these kilowatts, because there will be a couple of kilowatts I'm using to charge at the low price, and technically it should be, but I'll be paying the new 85 pence a kilowatt, so that's a bit annoying. So, quick overview, and as always, this is no way a how-to because I'm learning how to do this as I go. But that is the BMS, the battery management system, and that's what each one is connected to one of the cells, which is why there's that tangle of wires that you see. And there is the display of it, and it gives you sort of data, and you see all the individual voltage of the cells. That there is the contactor. Now, if the voltage of any of the cells goes above a certain preset limit, that will cut the power off, which is what you want. That under it's upside down, but that's the shunt that measures how much power is going in and out of the battery. And this is where I'm getting the power for the play. This is nothing to do with this will not be part of the overall setup. It's just a DC vent supply, and you can see I've got the parameters set up there. So it's meaning to charge up totally to 57.6 volts, the total one. It's currently managing about 54, so it's got a bit of a way to go yet. Top balancing, by the way, and very, very simplified, is basically getting, as you can see, all the batteries are many of them are slightly different voltages, and it's getting them all to exactly the same voltage at the very fully charged, which is 3.65 volts. And so then when you start discharging them, hopefully they'll all sort of move in parallel and stay sort of the values aligned. So, a bit of kerfuffle outside. It seems that when they were trying to get the next door neighbour's stove up into their boat, the forklift has got well and truly stuck in the gravel. that thing is being dragged frighteningly close to the side of my boat. And I've already felt quite a few dings where the boatyard owner, I think, has bashed into the back of my boat at the rear. What's
Good?
well, not your fault. Highly annoyingly, in the fun and games, the owner whacked his digger into my rudder, and as you can see, it's now significantly bent and the bearings jammed. I mean, obviously they've said they'll sort it out, but it's still somewhat annoying for a brand new boat. I have to say, I'm a lot more annoyed about that rudder than it is apparent from the last video clip. Anyway, as long as they repair it properly, I guess it's okay. But that's just the thing. I don't want them to just bash it out with a hammer. But what can I do? Nothing. Anyway, it's as you can see, it's my bedtime, and happily, just as I wasn't going to leave the charging on overnight. That's for sure. But one of the cells, which is actually just hit 3.65 volts, so it means I can turn it off. It's actually, unfortunately, it's way in the lead of the other one, and actually the internal resistance to the cell is quite a lot than the others. In fact, I think it's basically a Duff cell. Happily, I think as I mentioned earlier, I bought two spare cells for, in case something was wrong. So it's not the end of the world. It's just I'll just have to put that one to one side. Anyway, I'm going to leave it overnight, and then I'll have to reconfigure all this and start another phase of the balancing with them all in parallel at a low voltage. However, it's not only is it my bedtime, it's also Friday night bedtime. So I've edited the video until now, so I need to wham this into the last clip of this video and get uploading. And so you will have to wait until next time for the next exciting instalment of the batteries and other electrics. So anyway, thank you for watching, and catch you soon.